Republic of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We're going to start off with a public hearing on the pre-application for a minor subdivision at 351 Bridge Lane by 351 Bridge Lane LLC. Do we have anyone from the public who would like to speak about this? Any questions or comments? Anyone from the board?
Can you review it?
So large piece of property and part of it's preserved.
Rich is on, if you need some input. Also, Mr. Tarbert, the applicant, is also on the Zoom.
Oh,
Should probably have him go first.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes, the applicant.
Hi, sorry, John Tarbett here. Yeah, we're just here for the public hearing. If you have any questions, we'll answer them. I could go into it briefly. It's just it's a large 33-acre lot that we're trying to subdivide into 2 parcels.
And part of it's preserved, right?
A large part of it would be preserved, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the feeling that's so this whole front part of it was done in east and all that, so they can develop it and the back part, like I said, it was maybe 2,100 square foot house originally built, and they want now residents on the property. Pretty modest, really.
Mayor, do you need Rich to summarize it perhaps for the new board members?
Okay, Rich, if you want to summarize it for the new board members, that would be great.
Sure. So this is a map that's been around for a year or more with the village, and we went some back and forth and with the applicant to make sure that we met all the submission requirements for the subdivision. So they're looking to take this 33-acre property, create 2 lots. And as you know, in the village, when you're subdividing property with, you're required to set aside open space. So we had to do 2 things. First, make sure that we had a yield map that was compliant to create 2 lots, because part of this property is currently restricted. There's an easement over the northern section of the property with the Peconic Land Trust. That's the ag reserve area that you can see that I think it's highlighted in the green. I think that's what that says. And so we went through a yield map analysis with them, determined that they are entitled to 2 lots here, 2 completely conforming lots under zoning, excluding all the areas under easement and that are restricted. And then subsequent to that, they finalized their sketch plan that they have before you that creates 2 lots. Where the main house, you can see that the pink areas on the map that are on the screen are the building envelopes. The main house lies in the building envelope for the southerlymost lot, which is a flag lot that extends all the way up to Bridge Lane. And then the secondary lot, which is the northern pink area, is the remainder of the property. So it's all of that property other than the flag lot that goes to the ocean, down to Sag Pond. Yeah, there we go. So you can, scroll down just a little bit more, Rhodey. Yes, so you see that the southerly lot has the crosshatch building envelope, and you'll see there's a conservation easement on the property, which is all that area that has already been established pursuant to prior permitting that is restricted land. It's mostly wetland. The wetlands line actually extends further landward than that line. You can see that the dotted line. So probably somewhere along the way, the easements will probably get modified. But effectively what we have is a large portion of that property currently under easement. And then on the northerly lot, can you scroll up a little bit? The northerly lot is the remainder of the property. The green line is the reserved area, which consists of an easement that's been established with the Peconic Land Trust over a significant portion of the property. When we looked at these properties, the total amount of the area to be preserved is required to be 65%, and they will have something that approaches 70% with the area under easement and the area under the reserved area. They will have to remove the tennis court in order to establish the lot, because the tennis court goes outside the building envelope there. Both lots will use a common driveway, that's coming down through the flag lot using the existing driveway. So I think the subdivision plan makes sense, and it's a subdivision plan that is compliant with the code. We had communication with the village attorney back as we were establishing the yield to confirm that we were able to include the reserved area that's already been established as part of the open space requirement, and that was determined to be appropriate. So from where we are right now, this is a sketch plan application, a pre-application, and if there were no public comments from anyone, you would close the hearing, and then I guess we could talk just for a few minutes about the 5 different things that I should be addressing in the report, and I would be preparing a report for your next meeting. So I guess we should see if there's any other comments from anyone, either from John.
Minor comments. The existing trees to be removed and replaced with native trees. What kind of trees are there?
Yeah, so I have in my report that I hopefully Rhodey has circulated my June 5th report to the board members, and there were 6 or 7 items that are I believe have to be taken off the map when they come in at the next level. The 2 red circled areas say existing trees to be removed. You don't ever have that on a subdivision map. That's an action that's going to take place somewhere along the way. And if it's something that they want to do, those trees are within an area of wetlands. They need wetlands permits to do that. So I would want to see those notations removed from this drawing, because
Not have them removed?
This board isn't going to be discussing the removal of those trees at this point in time. You're looking at a subdivision, so that's something that would have to get a wetlands permit both from the state and from Southampton Town Conservation Board, as they do the village's wetlands permitting. So it shouldn't be on a subdivision map. So there's some notations on there. There's an existing fencing that's within wetlands and conservation easement areas that's to be relocated. That's a notation on the map. That notation should actually be removed. Both of those need permits, and I'm expecting that if these are things that they want to pursue, they would be filing those applications to take care of those things. There's a notation about existing wood walkway to be removed, an existing trampoline to be removed. There's a notation that says all fences within an agricultural area to be no greater than 6 feet in height. I'm not sure why that notation's on the map, but if that's a condition that this board eventually imposes on the subdivision down the road, then that'll be something that will wind up in a covenant or some sort of condition of approval. There were 2 areas on this map that were of some concern. They weren't on any of the prior maps. If you could just zoom in on those buildings there, right there. The 1-story frame building that's sitting there, that's within the ag easement, existing ag easement area. The prior plans never showed a sanitary flag nor a well that's right nearby. I've asked Mr. Tarbett to provide some information to the village about the utilization of that building to make sure that it is in fact what is allowed to be from village records, and also from an easement perspective. And also chicken coops and roof structures in a small pond area that have appeared sometime after 2008, which you can tell from looking at Google Earth aerial photography. The village has a code restriction about chickens, and so the question is whether or not the chickens in that area and those structures have actually been legally constructed. So those are details that will have to be worked out as we go through the process. I don't think that they are things that need to hold up the pre-application report or allowing the applicant to move forward with the next phase of the subdivision process. But they would be things that would need to be resolved between the applicant and the building department prior to the map being finalized, which is going to be a little bit ways down the road.
A question about the proposed park. Is that something that's open to the public?
No, so if there's no park on this plan, so if you go to the yield plan, so see the little park up on the street front?
Right.
So when you're doing a standard yield subdivision plan, you are required to establish 5 acres per 100 lots. You know, it's in some sense, it's kind of an antiquated standard, but I guess the thought was if you're going to build 100 lots, you better provide a park for people so they can have a place to take their kids with swings and whatever, but you need about 5 acres per 100 lots. Most municipal codes out here have that. And I can tell you most subdivisions that I have seen in the 45 years that I've been doing business do not create parks like this, but it's a requirement. So when you do a yield map, you have to show that you meet the 5 acres per 100 lots. So in this instance, 5 acres per 100 lots, the ratio for 2 lots is about 4,500 square feet, something like that. So it's really just an illustration on a drawing, but there will be no park per se. Unless the board decided they wanted to have a park, which I'm not so sure of. I think you'd have to find a reason why you would need a park here. You've got significant open space. Most open space maps that we've seen, the boards have determined that the open space is really the beneficial element of the subdivision, and therefore parks don't get implemented.
So the scope of this public hearing is narrow. So exactly what are we being asked to opine on at this hearing? Obviously, this needs to be further proposed.
So what I would suggest is first the board close the public hearing, unless the board members have specific questions about the map, which we could talk. But there are 5 separate standards in section 190-10 of the code, which we should talk about before you send me off to prepare the pre-app report. But if there's no public comment on it, I mean, the purpose of the public hearing is to hear the public, to see if anybody has anything to say about it. And if there is no public comment, Rhoda, you didn't receive any letters or anything?
No, I did not, Rich, no.
Yeah. So it was properly noticed, I presume. So I would suggest that you close the hearing per se on it, and then we the board and I could talk about these 5 elements that I would be writing in the report, and then I'd prepare a report for you for next meeting. So.
Okay. Any other questions from the board? Okay, I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
All right. So under section 190-11C, it says within 62 days of the completion of the public hearing on a pre-application, the planning board shall issue a report. That's what I prepare for you, which shall determine the following: whether the application should be processed under major or minor review or conservation opportunity subdivision procedures. I believe that this map would be eligible for minor review. You're not providing any roads with this. It's a common driveway. There will be no improvements that are going to be necessary. So I think that it qualifies for the minor review standards. So if you would agree with that, then I would be recommending that in a minor review, the next step for the applicant is that they take this map, they have it engineered to go to the health department, they get health department approval, and then they come back to you for final application submission. They skip the preliminary plat submission. And I think that it's appropriate in this instance, in as much as there really are no significant improvements that are happening with this subdivision. We will have to work out the details of those things that we talked about between the applicant and the building department. But typically the preliminary plat review process, you're looking at roads, you're looking at drainage, there's significant engineering review. But you typically don't do that for a minor subdivision for a minor review. So I would recommend that this be, the board agree that this would be handled from a minor review process. So that would be number one. Second is whether or not you would like to see a standard plat or the clustered plan. I think that in this instance, the clustered plan is what the applicant's seeking. I don't know that if you were to do the standard plat, it's going to require the demolition of the house, which is not what the applicant seeks, because the lot lines, when they do the standard subdivision plan, it's assuming the property is vacant. How many lots could they get on this piece of property? But they have demonstrated they're entitled to 2 lots. And they have sufficient lot area to do the plan the way they have it designed. So my recommendation would be the board would agree that the planned residential development is the preferred option for this piece of property. Whether the submission complies with all the applicable standards, policies, and regulations, I will go through that in my report. And whether there are any other recommendations by the board that should be considered in the incorporation into the formal application. And I think that those essentially would follow the outline of the issues that I raised in my June 5th memo, and also just recommend that any common driveway review is going to get reviewed by the village engineer. And that, you know, for the future subdivision, there's going to be like drainage control for any future construction, those kind of things. So if the board's agreeable with those things, then I will prepare a pre-application report for your next meeting.
Any questions? Okay, that sounds good then. Great.
Okay.
Choosing a resolution authorize Rich to proceed with the pre-application report.
Okay, I'll make a motion to authorize Rich InterScience Associates to go ahead with the pre-application.
So this report will be a report of the board. It's not, I prepare it, but it's actually the Board of Trustees report, because that's the way the code's written. The planning board shall issue the report. So I will prepare it. I'll get it out to you as quickly as I can, and I'll get it to Rhodey. She'll circulate to the board members. If anyone has any questions or would like changes to it, you should feel free to email me back any changes or suggestions to it. And then I'll incorporate that into it. And this way, at your next meeting, you'll have a report that would include any comments that any of you might have.
I'll second Bill's motion.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Great.
Okay, great.
Thanks, Rich.
Thanks, Rich.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rich.
Yep, good to see you all.
You too.
All right, bye-bye.
The next item is old business site plan application of 35 Spud LLC. Some additional information was required from the applicant and was just received very recently, and our engineering consultant has not had time to review it. So I'll make a motion to adjourn this application to the August 21st meeting.
Yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Let's see. Out of order, if there are people here who want to speak to the board about an issue, you can speak now and you don't have to stay through the whole meeting, or you can wait till the very bitter end, whichever you would like to do.
Yeah, I'd like to speak now.
Okay, great.
Thank you. Thanks. Meredith Foster, 732 Main Street. So in the ongoing discussion of the tower next door or here that will affect our property next door, I was perusing Homeland Tower's own analysis. And one jumped out. So you guys all saw this. This is the documentation. Well, actually, some of the newer board members didn't. What date was this submitted? 3/8/2024. So he identified, I'll just quickly read his own words. I identified and investigated 23 sites in and around Sagaponic area where the construction of a new tower might be feasible. for radio frequency engineering purposes. Description of these sites that were investigated are set forth below, along with a map depicting the appropriate locations. So site number 3 is the Old Stove Pub. And this was his summation of that property. Homeland Towers entered in a ground lease with this candidate and filed the site with the village trustees. That's meaning it got pretty far. The village received the pre-application, expressed interest and desire to have the facility located on village-owned property pursuant to its own local code requirements. And Homeland Towers decided against the Old Stove Pub for one reason. Homeland reviewed this parcel and determined it was not suitable for the placement of a wireless facility due to the close proximity of a residential home. So I went on Google Maps, and I will tell you those homes are no further than that home. So I don't understand why our home, well, it doesn't have a pool, it doesn't have a tennis court, it's not one of those homes. But this is their own paperwork, which y'all saw. Knowing there's a house next door. And to me, this is a really important document because it's their own admission that that was too close.
What were the reasons of it?
They say it's too close to a residential.
Because they couldn't put it up too close, or?
They just say it's too close.
But they don't say why.
Well,
I mean, I'm just pointing
right,
that out.
I'm just pointing out.
Yeah.
They find it is too close to a residential structure. So why is that residential structure? Arguably, there's actually a little bit more room up there if you look on Google Earth. Why? Is there a different balancing for different homes? I'm not a village board member, right? I didn't decide to run for elected office, though I'm deeply considering it now. But we entrust you all to protect us from this kind of thing. So what does this mean? Can you tell me, can council tell me what this means? Was this reviewed? Was this read? This is pretty black and white. And I really, really, really think that this is an important piece of information that should be taken back to Homeland Towers. Did they not know there's a home there? Did they just say that this was development right property?
Yeah.
Because they must have some internal prohibition for wanting to be too close to homes.
So I'm obviously new, barely, so
Yeah.
I don't know what the previous process was, but I was at the public hearing before. And they were actually proposing to do the road, so I didn't know they had backed away from putting it behind them, so I thought they were proceeding on that basis.
Yeah.
Nobody found a better option,
Here.
but how come they decided to proceed if they willingly?
No, they had begun, I'm guessing by that lease, it meant they'd begun to investigate it. I didn't
What's
speak
the
to
date?
the owner.
Yeah, this
This is dated, this property, they don't actually give the dates at which.
I think they were prepared to come here to propose to do it to the old Silver stuff. I didn't know there was any reason why they were backing away from that.
Homeland reviewed this parcel and determined it was not suitable. So you guys, well, I don't know if you guys, but this lists the 23 properties. And there's a whole host of reasons the 23 weren't suitable. But again, the one that really announces itself to me is the concern of the proximity to a residence, which has been what we've been discussing all, well, what you're new to the board, but we've been here a few times now discussing how close this is to a residence where not only an employee, but a very dear friend lives along with her teenage daughter.
What is the paper you're reading
Yeah,
from?
This
What's-
is
what's
all
the
what
name?
I got.
What's it called?
What's the?
This is Homeland Towers, alternative site analysis on
What's
behalf
the-
of
what's the
Homeland
date of
Towers,
What's the date?
3/8/24. This,
I
You-
mean, I don't remember that. I don't remember ever seeing that, so.
I know that if I had been in your position and read something like that, I mean, it must have been read by council. It was read. Were you not aware there was a house right next door?
We knew there was a house there.
But how come that house weighed differently? Like, why didn't that even create a question.
I think the analysis is merely is that there's a house everywhere.
There's a house everywhere, but there are houses real close. And this is Homeland Towers documentation saying it's too close to a residence. I think it's too close to a residence. I was awful surprised to see that Homeland Towers thought it was too close to a residence. That doesn't surprise any of you guys at all? Like, you don't think this is a problem?
I would ask why it was too close.
But
That's what I
so
would
you
find
guys
out.
you guys are in charge. You have signed the contract with Homeland Towers, not me.
Yeah.
I'm just the poor sucker who has property next. Did they just think it was a cemetery?
I don't know.
This is horrible. This is how really bad stuff happens in small towns.
I have no recollection of reading that, so what can I tell you?
So what do we do?
We've got a contract to put the damn thing up.
So nobody would just pick up the phone and be like, Homeland Towers, we might have, there might have been an oversight here. There's a house super close in your own documentation.
Yeah, well, that's interesting.
I mean, they obviously have some internal prohibition against putting something too close. They could have gone to Old Stove Pub.
I'd probably say this, just having looked at that, and I don't know.
You looked at this.
Oh, definitely. It was
Okay.
in the packet. It was submitted to the
Right.
board of trustees, no question
Right.
about it.
Right.
Absolutely. Absolutely,
Right.
100% yes.
Right.
Do I say that I recall those facts from March? No, I'm surprised that the board recalled those facts from a letter in March.
Recalling the facts and reacting to the fact in March would have been great.
I'm gonna say this again, speculating, because I don't know what details are in that letter, because I don't remember what those distances were. But they don't use a definition like super close. They do measures, and if they come and obviously if you want an answer for why one residence may count and one residence might not.
Yeah.
Perhaps as the crow flies or measurement wise, certain residences are closer on location than others. And
Does anybody mind if I call Homeland Towers? Can I get them on the phone right now? We have a phone number for them?
Anybody can call anybody, go ahead.
Is there a phone number? Who do I contact?
Isn't there anything on that?
No phone number. This man's name is Raymond Garaji, Regional Manager, Homeland Towers. He's the guy who spoke to me.
Yes, he is.
Can I have his phone number?
Yeah, we can get it to you, I'm sure. Okay, that's the point, that correspondence?
That's the point.
Yeah, okay,
But y'all don't remember it, and it's a big point.
okay, I understand you're upset.
Upset. Upset.
Yeah, I can see.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I'm more than upset. I'm out of my fucking tree. I'd like to stand up and just continue with this. I hope you open me too.
Sure.
My name is Lee Foster, 698 Main Street. I'm speaking on behalf of our farmland parcel, 3301 Montauk Highway. I'm here to present to the board a alternative site. So it's come to my, I'm grateful, however, for the people that have been willing to come. Thank you. It's called community engagement. It's come around to me that our opposition to the cell tower site has to go to higher ups. Some higher authority because of the signed land lease agreement. That is like asking a disinterested God to pay attention. You here are the higher power. We certainly have a 55-year lease, confirms your agency. The alternative site analysis done by Homeland Towers, which Marilee has now just provided you, illustrates a blind eye, which I will now try to pry open. In the analysis provided to the board, it is stated, this property is the candidate site. This is the property. Village Hall. Where the tower is proposed and is the least intrusive option based on current non-residential use and surrounding uses. That's in the very document that Marilyn has just read here. What does this mean? A cemetery and farmland? On the contrary, a partial list of those who are close by. John French, Jack French, Issy Sussman, Wilfred, Deborah Simons are all less than 750 feet from the tower. Loaves and Fishes, 300 feet from the tower, and Alex Gonzalez and Susanna Wainwright right next door, 90 feet away. 90 feet. All right. Homeland wants a tower. They're going to get a tower, but it should not overshadow the residents next door, nor the village hall if placed now in the area offered for it. The white limited partnership parcel, which I have the surveys, eliminates close proximity of a future cell tower to the residents as well as Loaves and Fishes, and additionally to those properties I've just now identified. It's a wooded parcel set back approximately 900 feet off Montauk Highway. It's not in your face, and it abuts preserved natural habitat. Asking village board to seriously consider it.
And where is it?
Was this proposed before?
It's being proposed now.
Yes, was it proposed before, is my question.
It was part of their site information. You will see it noted on the information for their analysis.
So you're
It's never-
proposing an
I am
alternate.
certainly proposing an alternate.
Well, that's great.
There you go.
It's always nice to have somebody who is.
Thank
you.
That's a very good thing to
Make
do.
it happen, I
And I
don't know.
think
but
Brody
it's
has the other piece and I.
We got.
All right.
She said I have the other piece back up, so I
Yep.
just wanted to make that clear.
No, I got it.
We have enough.
This is what you want me to have?
I'm done. Thank you.
So where are we?
You are 300, 500 feet, a little east of the intersection with Sag Road. And I believe Jeff and Barbara are here, and if you folks need any additional commentary here, here's who would grab this. Oh, and Tom.
No. Let's go, let's do it. Okay, that's cross up highway and Saginaw Street. That doesn't make sense to me. Oh, this is across the street.
This is London, this is.
Yeah. Where's Loaves and Fishes?
Right here.
Okay. And they're agreeable to this?
Okay, is there someone else who would like to speak?
Laura?
Someone
Yeah.
else?
Yeah, unless you're first.
Need any clarification on based upon what that.
Yes,
That's okay.
I'm good, I know where it is. Maybe David, you know where it's.
yeah, so this is your property, right? Or this is your
Yes.
family trust?
Family trust.
My question was this ever proposed before as a potential site?
We have received letters from companies way up island about putting the house there. Family wasn't really sure whether it was a realistic thing, and we didn't know what, you know, sometimes people will try to talk you into anything. But that was happening much further back than you're beginning discussion here with the village.
Are there restrictions on that property?
Not that I'm aware of.
Are there any wetlands, anything in there?
Well, the irrigation ponds here. This area that's, can I?
How do you get to this
box here? This area here is a, basically a drainage corridor from
Oh.
Parsonage into the swamp and then
Okay.
down into Sag Pond. But every pond from Sag Harbor has an underground stream that all comes down. to this place.
And the idea is that this would be mainly your land, and that the tower would fill up.
Yeah, I can add come to it.
Jeff,
This-
just identify yourself,
Jeffrey White.
thank you.
This piece here, this isn't subdivided up here. We sold development rights. And just because of where the boundaries were on it, that created separate tax bills, but not a subdivision. This is a landlocked piece of property and we received, I think, 3 development right credits from the town for it. Because it was landlocked and we couldn't use it, but it was still considered agricultural. So I think what would have to happen here, so there is a restriction on it. But my brother John's feeling is that if we prorated the amount of property that came off it, because it would just be the tower, it wouldn't be like anything,
Big.
yeah. That we would just have to return the amount of credits proportional to the amount of property that they use for the tower.
I don't know, those documents are pretty extensive when the town takes development rights and makes those transfers. They would have to be reviewed.
Yeah.
I know they're a little jumpy about development rights and cell towers on preserved property, as you can imagine in places. But again, we'd have to know what those restrictions were and what the document was that provided. The other question comes out is, why this site was preferred by the village hall property, was preferred by the developers, that they need to have 24-hour access for cars and repair vehicles to get back there. Is there a road access to back here?
There is a road, it's a dirt road, it's not like a paved road, it's like farm road back there.
There is.
Back there.
And where does that road come?
On Montauk Highway, so it's like right.
Then they need to bring the utilities back.
Yeah,
So there are utilities on Montauk Highway?
oh yeah,
Okay.
and it's on the same.
Okay.
I wouldn't say that we were looking to do this, other than it's a big issue. And if this works.
Where are the houses around here?
The closest one is up,
Nick Martin's on the highway? And there's another house back here?
and where?
I don't know, is there a house?
This is highway here.
Yes, on the frame, she's got.
Yeah, big, yes.
Yeah, this is.
I don't know how far back it is, he's more.
Just so there is a dirt road that goes back. Okay.
But so I don't know the answers to those questions, I know we have the documentation for it.
What do you show us?
Credits, I don't know what they mind on it's one of these jurisdictional.
Yeah.
How much were the credits?
I believe they're $1 million each, and there were 3.
And you would have to give that up.
So you have to give up a prorated.
It's
We don't have to
expensive.
add credits, it'd be an expensive issue.
That's a big one.
Yeah, that's a significant, that would probably
Okay.
something to look into, but it's probably gonna be significant.
So anyway, it's there to.
And who gives you the credits? Where does that from?
Southampton.
These two people.
You know how they pick the other 23 sites?
They have the site manager that comes out, he looks at all the sites and looks at it. That's why I think there is some precision in that letter. I don't recall the letter precisely, but there are measurements that talk about
Right.
all ratios and close and those kind of things that go into that analysis. We can get a presentation from him as to how he settled on this site as a premier, but I do know it's about like access and having road access back there, which,
I would like to hear it, just because I don't know the history. But would you be willing to give up those credits? Because the village probably wouldn't be willing to subsidize.
Yeah, no, I don't more of that. Yeah, we would, that would be okay. If it's possible.
have a conversation with Homeland Towers and see if they are. I just know that you know,
Spend a lot of time.
they spend a lot of time and development money back here to do this, you know, there's a lot of, it's very expensive, engineering.
Yeah.
It's the historical resources, people here, they've done a mountain of electrical engineering and those kind of things, all those costs are gonna, they're not gonna walk away from those costs.
Right.
So we have to think about that too, and what the cost is gonna be, even if they release that site, but. Can't hurt to
So
ask.
we'll discuss it, right?
Yeah, thank you for proposing this.
Sure.
We've got 55 years to make that.
Is there anybody else who wanted to speak?
Yeah.
Well, no.
Hi.
So I submitted a paper theme yesterday. I'm hoping you all have a copy.
They will send out, you need to identify yourself.
So my name is Karina Forrest.
Hi.
Hi. I'm the manager at Loaves and Fishes Food Store in Sagaponic. I'm the granddaughter of Ann Hump, who's the founder of Loaves and Fishes. I'm the daughter of Sibylla Munkin, who's the current owner. And this is my daughter, Willow. My family has been serving this community for almost 45 years now. We love what we do and the connections that have woven through this community into our lives and the lives of our staff at Loaves and Fishes. It's been a beautiful tapestry that is a testament to the magic out here and the connections that food and small business cultivate. Now at 30 years old, I'm continuing my family legacy with my daughter, Willow Anna Forrest, who is 1 year old. She comes to work with me almost every day, as I did with my mother. It's a beautiful lineage that I'm honored and blessed to continue. My family and I have serious concerns about the 5G cell tower that's being scheduled to go up this fall at the Village Hall here in Sagaponic. It will be going up less than a quarter mile from our shop, and as such puts us in close proximity to radiation that will put myself, my daughter, our employees, and our customers at risk. I spend anywhere from 25 to 45 hours a week in the shop, and I have employees that work up to 70 hours a week. To think that we will be spending that much time exposed to harmful radiation makes me shudder. I also plan to continue to have more children, and I hope to be pregnant by the end of the summer, if I'm not already. I cannot put my children in the line of fire of harmful radiation that could undoubtedly cause birth defects and deformation. I don't see how I can ask my staff to come to work every day knowing that they are putting their lives and their bodies at risk of adverse health conditions and side effects. I don't want to put our customers who have supported us throughout these many years at risk of radiation when they walk through our doors with their children and their grandchildren. I understand from my conversation with the clerk and the mayor that the village of Sagaponic is not authorized to speak or decree over radiation. However, I do know that the village does have the authority to place a cell tower in its backyard. I understand that there need to be cell towers put up in Sagaponic. They do not need to be placed at this municipal building. We can work together to find a better place that is farther away from people, businesses, and homes. Please. I'm asking that you please break the contract that you have signed with the cell tower companies. Let us find a better way that is not harming our business, our livelihood, our health, and our community in this way. I'm available to any questions or any help during this process. I will canvass door to door if needed to find another place to put the tower. Please do not allow this tower to go up at Village Hall. Thank you for your time.
So the question, what's a safe distance?
A quarter mile. I have not gone over this proposal with Lee, but I've talked with Tom about the new proposed site, and I believe it is more than a third of a mile or around a third of a mile from Loaves and Fishes.
There is a house within a quarter mile of it.
And we can discuss that. We can discuss that. I would prefer it to be somewhere that is quarter mile from anyone, from any of the research that I've done, which you and I spoke about. There's not a whole lot, but from what I've seen, a quarter mile is the minimum safe distance.
Who says that?
Several different studies that have come out. I can email them to you.
And I don't know that there is a large amount of harmful radiation that is specified by any group that's done any testing or anything.
A lot of people in Europe have done testing on 5G more so than US. And because the 5G is a higher frequency radiation, it can do a lot of damage.
Yeah, I'm not sure we're having 5G in, it's 4G for the
4G,
moment.
but the plan is to become 5G, no?
I don't know.
Be,
Is it becoming 5G?
We'll ask them.
and any radiation from a cell tower.
Yeah.
I didn't do extensive research on 4G, but I did on the 5G, and that was very hard because it's very new technology.
Yeah.
But from the little that I did find, it is not good. And I do believe that you see my concern for myself, my daughter, and our staff, and our customers. We've been there for 45 years. This year will be 45. And I have grandparents, their children, their grandchildren coming to me as well. What am I supposed to tell them? Or my daughter, my husband? I can't do that. But we're not leaving. I don't want to leave.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. And I'd like to submit to you, we've put up aloes and fishes for a couple of months now. I've had petitions that were drafted by me that I've kept at my store to have people who are residents of Sagapon sign. And also other people signed who are not residents of Sagaponic, but I have, I think at this point, about 9 pages of petitions signed of people who stand with us against this cell tower. I'd like to submit that.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else? Mara?
To be really quick, I live on the other side of the window. My daughter and I would be 10 yards Susanna Wing House. I've worked for the Fosters now for 8 years. I live across the bamboo, just on the other side. I have a 12-year-old daughter. She and I live there, and the cell phone tower would be within arm's reach. And there is no way you can tell me that that's safe. Would any one of you like to switch places with me and sleep there every night?
You just spell your last name for me, please.
WAINHOUSE. Susanna.
Thank you.
Okay, let's move on to the agenda. We've got something, another thing to fly. Let's see. Thank you all. I wish you'd been here a year ago. Let's see, we have minutes. Has anybody had a chance to read minutes?
I have not.
Can read them.
Yeah. I don't know if you want to hold off and, yeah. May 15th, 2024. Well, I mean, you guys want to.
I'm right here, but sounds. We'll see.
No, if you don't mind, let's hold off and wait until Bill is here. Yeah,
I mean, they don't have to be here, they can have read them,
right.
but if they haven't, that's fine.
I read them and I don't have any issues here, so it's up to you what you want to do.
Yeah, let's just hold off. Yeah.
2-minute batch of numbers, that's okay.
Yep. Town police report, which is a new format.
Yes.
How'd you make that
48
with that?
pages long,
Oh,
and they say they only have 1 traffic stop,
wow, in June.
but that's not right.
Yeah, because I got pulled up.
Oh, did you?
No.
So, you really can't correspond it, to the other months, but anyway. I'll go through this list and then talk about that in a second. The abandoned 911 calls, there were 11 of them. The accidents with no TI were 5. 8 aided cases, 8 burglar alarms, 14 fire alarms, most calls. 3 DV arrests, 2 EMT arrests. 2 fire other, I don't know what that means, identity theft, 1. 1 parking complaint, 1 property damage, 1 smoke investigation, 1 traffic hazard, and 1 traffic stop. 1 on the subject of the premises. Anyway, the traffic stop, I don't know. They describe it at length here, but looks like they only made 1 traffic stop. They have suspicious incidents, they have aided cases, smoke investigation, abandoned 911, alarm burglary, DV arrest, that was Montauk Highway. So I guess
So-
you have to call
Yeah,
the
just a quick question
police
here. So
department.
it says no speeding vehicles for January through June.
Right, so
Is this because of the new format or what's the
exactly, so
Where do you
it's,
see that?
it's a new
what's
format,
the summary?
and these summaries,
Just that.
are, they didn't send a summary this month. This program does not send a summary. They send it on an Excel spreadsheet along with the documents, the 48 or how many pages on the details of the stop. So my guess is that in this new program they're using, they report them differently under different headings.
Yeah, but
And so therefore, there's what used to be 100 traffic stops are now spread out throughout the rest of the report. But also, there are officers that are not, cannot work the system efficiently yet and are 10 reports behind. So it may be that this report is not reflecting all the stops that happened in June because the officers just haven't gotten their paperwork electronically
between
submitted yet.
the arrest, the BNT and DWI and all that, there was only 12. So if you want to consider those traffic stops, that's a big difference from 144 in April and 66 in May. So I guess we'll have to be calling the police department.
Yeah,
and
no,
finding
I'm just
out.
curious because obviously since the speed was put in, I'd like to see the progression of how many speeding vehicles. There's no.
No, that's not gonna be found.
Yeah,
Trying
trying
to
to
get
do
that.
that before, and it's something they can't come down on. But I will, and I do plan to send. I will send a email to Sergeant Schottenhamel and make note of the fact that that particular item is that far off.
Okay.
And why. You know,
Okay.
knowing of course that they have a new system, but it just doesn't seem, because even in the total, because the summary total.
You're right here.
Yeah, so
77.
77 compared to, 204 in April and 109 in
Yeah.
May, so it still seems like it's off. And it may be because of the fact that some of the officers can't use the system yet, or are still struggling to.
So they're not sending you the Excel spreadsheet, you're just being sent this summary.
Oh, no, they send me the Excel.
They're sending you
spreadsheet.
this,
So they're sending you, so who's
I'm doing
creating
the
it?
summary.
So you're
They used
creating.
to do the summary.
So
They
you're
don't send it
creating the
anymore,
summary
so
off of
I
the Excel
created
spreadsheet.
the summary off of their summary from years until this month, when they changed
The Excel spreadsheet.
they
has
changed
our-
their software program, reporting software program. They don't send me this summary report anymore, so
Right.
I just continue that and had
Just so
to
that there was.
go through every single one of these
Yeah.
reports and put them in here.
That's-
Because this part here the monthly report, this is what now comes up. It used to come over similar to this, but now I have to take the Excel spreadsheet and open it up and add columns because they didn't have the officers in there, so I had to go and look at all these sheets to get the officers.
And usually they said what the outcome was.
That's not on the Excel spreadsheet. So it's a new format, but I will send an email to the sergeant to find out.
The speeding to me is something that's relevant, I'd like to
We've
know.
asked for speeding and they but they couldn't extract it from the data that they get. So we couldn't get because apparently there's nobody that has it as a speeding ticket. It must go into something else, and I'm just, grabbing at straws here, David. I don't know the answer to that. I do know that we have asked in the past and they told us they couldn't give us that amount of information.
Well, we can ask now, but then we have nothing to correlate it to.
Yeah, but let's do the stars. You could start if we could get it, that's all. I mean, it's interesting that they can get so detailed on identity theft and some of these other things.
So,
Public assembly inspections, but they can't just tell you to pull over for speeding.
I shall inquire again, David.
Thank you.
Don't.
They changed the. I'm just. As far as the actual, you having to interpret all of this information by yourself.
Yeah, I think that's right.
That's not right.
Well, I'm not interpreting it.
No, like you're trying to fit into an old
Well,
old
it
way
does
of
show,
looking.
if you look at the detail sheets, the detail sheets will have abandoned 9/11 call, accident car crash, so that's a
STP.
oh, here you go. AC, all right. that's what it
Accident,
is.
no
So
PI.
it's the incident type on each of these reports, so
Yeah.
that's what I put into.
Yep.
That's where I put them in on the summary. So each of these incident types are on my summary sheet.
And the incident type are synonymous with the incident types like the last time.
Yes, oh, no, that's right. That's correct.
You and
So,
I can take this offline.
Yeah.
I'm thinking more of actually the interpretation and writing a macro that could do that for you, rather than you sitting there and having to get down and.
well, I'll show you what I have.
Yeah.
It's not that onerous. It is time consuming, but it's not that time
But
consuming,
it
but
doesn't matter.
what the way it comes over isn't, you could have it. But feel free to come on in and I'll show you how it goes.
But I'm also actually probably easier for them to send it to you differently or not.
Oh, I don't know about that, because I'm sure there's a system and they're probably not gonna go outside that parameters,
But you can.
but I'll
We'll talk
ask.
about this. You can actually import it with and without some of that information, so we'll go.
Okay, got it.
Thank you, Carrie.
Sorry that I.
No, it's okay.
Went down the mold.
Right.
I'll show you what I used to get and what I get now.
I don't want to do, it sounds like it's a lot of work for you, and to me,
Well-
that's not.
It is, but it's not. I mean, it doesn't take me days to do it, but it's something that I provide
should be
to
a
the
lot
board
easier
for years.
and for us.
Okay, well, we can
I'm
stop on it. We'll look at it.
Next item, Gibson Beach. I think we should take it back from the town, at least the parking, have our own parking sticker for our own people. I know I've heard various things we might be able to do with that. Yeah, Judah Klausner, he's been after that for quite a while, and his information is pretty interesting, and I know beaches, other villages, beaches I used to go to in other years, you can no longer go to, and I guess maybe you could buy an out of town. I know, it's East Hampton, I think it's village, it's like $500 or $600 or so. And it's very limited what's available. Anyway, in
What's
terms
the
of
process for that?
which,
To take it.
we just tell the town that we're gonna do our own stickers. That's
As
it.
simple as that?
So it is actually pretty simple, like, it is almost like that, there's an IMA for the original formation of the village where the town provided, they would supply certain services to the village, including police, garbage, et cetera. And, with that IMA can be amended up to a certain time on withdrawal of certain services that the village wants to assume for itself. The deadline is August 1st, and we're gonna do that for Gibson Beach. So, we just have to notify the town and we wanna take back the parking and the administration in that area.
Yeah, I mean, 20 years ago, we just didn't, there were too many things we were trying to get done and there was no way. It was just simple, let them continue to do, the roads and the police and the parking permits.
So as it stands now, if you have a Southampton Town sticker, you can go down to Gibson Beach.
Yeah, yeah.
I presume, I would like to keep it that way. And not get village parking stickers for the moment. I have to think about it. Do you think that it's village people are being turned away? I mean, you've got the whole field to park.
There's not, I didn't count, but there aren't that many.
There's limited parking
spaces, yeah.
Completely limited parking.
Well, when I grew up going there, people parked on the side of the road,
Right.
diagonal by the big field that's, I don't know how long, quite long, all the way to Crestview or whatever that is.
Corner.
No, not around the corner.
Yeah, there's no parking.
Well, we used to have let out parking around the corner. And then I guess it got to be enough of a hassle. People would leave garbage and this and that, and so we prohibited that.
From around the corner.
Onto Crestview, we used to let.
What
let
about
parking at
along
Crestview.
the whole length of the field from the end of the beach to Crestview? You can park there.
Yes,
Yeah,
$500.
we still.
By Southampton Town Permit, that's
Right.
correct.
Right.
Yeah, I think we should keep it the way it is. But I'll think about it a little more.
Who's gonna police this?
What?
Who would police,
The
like,
police.
what- the
Traffic
police?
control, yeah. No, that'll be kind of a sticky thing probably, but the town gets a lot of revenue out of the tickets. When they write tickets, so it shouldn't be a big problem.
I mean, the village has Sag Main, and okay, if you wanna go to Gibson, I mean, how many local village people are being turned away at Gibson?
Well, I just heard complaints, people complained, and so,
I've heard a lot of it.
yeah.
There's a lot of people who come to me and said it's an issue. Look, it's one of my goals. I would like to get it back to the village.
It was never in the village, we never had village parking
I know,
tickets.
I realize that.
Right.
So you won't get it back to it, you will be
Well,
changing it totally.
That's fine.
And people would have to pay $500 or more to get a non-resident
I
sticker.
think initially, we just have it for the village residents and see how that works. Do it for 2 years and see how it works for the village residents. If it's not used, okay, then you can go raise revenue with it, but there would be a bargaining chip also. East Hampton used to let us park on Town Line Road. I used to swim down there and they stopped.
Yeah, and the reason they have is, and one of the things I've talked to some of the people there, and they actually said the reason is they didn't want to open it up to all the villages of Southampton. But I floated the idea of what it would be just Sagaponic residents, and they seemed to say, yeah, we could probably think about that and do that. We're more amenable to that. We just didn't want to open it up to the whole Southampton universe. Because Town Line used to let us go, I used to go down there.
David, just to be clear, what you just said relates to the parking on the east side of town?
No.
Okay,
Yes, no, so it
Yes.
relates to the east side of right now,
I'm
it's
sorry,
East-
yes, east.
East Hampton. And used to be, if you had a village of a village of Southampton, they kind of let you slide.
Southampton.
The town sticker. They're not letting you slide on it, they give you tickets. And I was being told because there's limited parking obviously there, right? And I said, look, you used to be able to let us, we live right around the corner, you used to be able to let us park there, because although there's no parking on the west side. They said, yeah, we don't want to open it up to the whole town of Southampton.
So somebody on the town board you spoke to?
No, someone new.
Okay, because we have approached East
Yeah,
Hampton
and
Town at nauseam to ask them to do it.
Yeah, understood.
there is a new board there, we know.
So I just think the idea, if it was just limited to the residents of Sagaponic, there might be more immune, that's all.
Well, we haven't.
No, not official. Well, I guess you have in the past.
Yes, but not to this new board that just came on board last year with last year's election.
No, I think we can do a better job with the end of the road too, in terms of garbage pickup and, you know, make it our place and. You know, it's kind of a backwater right now, which, you know, was fine 30 years ago, but I think people expect more.
Well, there's an issue at the end of the road with the parking straight onto the hedge. And it doesn't leave much space for cars to even get by the cars that are parked. So you go all the way to the ocean, you leave, oh, look, the ocean. And now you've got to turn around.
Yeah.
So you either reverse all the way, which is a hazard for kids getting in and out of their cars, going or coming to the beach, and reverse into the driveway that's there, which they don't want us doing anyway, and then you leave. Or you do a 10-point turn at the end of the road.
Yeah.
Because the handicap parking is there, which I agree we should have handicap parking. But I feel like it should be backed up and it should be not straight in, maybe parallel or something. I mean, not parallel, diagonal.
Hmm.
So when we used to go, everybody parked parallel. 50 years ago.
Yeah.
And would park on the part of the field area if there were more people on the east side, basically. We also could park on the west.
You know, there's a lot of issues with people coming from outside the village
parallel.
and using that.
So it left a lot more room. But anyway.
So
that makes sense.
can I ask a question? If we don't do something by this August, you have to wait another year? Correct.
Yes.
Yeah, I think we should do that.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think, give it a shot. I mean, it's no big deal. I mean, we could always go back if it doesn't seem to work, but I think, I know I keep getting these questions about this when people realize that it's actually our road and we control it. And I think it's a good idea. In the middle of the day, you want to go down there, maybe now. If we take it over, we can get a parking space.
But the other point is that Carrie said that she wants to think about it. This is not going to take effect until next year, but we have to let the town know by August 1st because of the IMA.
What's the IMA?
Intermunicipal agreement.
With the town services.
Oh,
We have to let them know by August 1st if we want to do this next year. The other piece of it is, if you do decide to take it back, if the village decides to take it back, you still have the discussion of, is it just gonna be for village residents? Or will it be village residents and
Renters?
Non-residents, which you could charge a fee for? So you still have that piece open to discuss, even if you tell the town that you want to take it back as a village beach. That is not their discussion, that's your discussion.
And what's the cost that we costed out, actually? Stickers, and who would be issuing stickers?
I haven't done the cost analysis yet, but they would be issued through this office.
Right.
And if they're free, then I just add it, a line into the budget and everybody pays for it. Or if you want to offset the cost of that, including the garbage, because we're gonna have to get the garbage cleaned up. The Parks and Rec now, they pick up the garbage. And we do the maintenance on the roads and we do the maintenance on that gate that's down there that needs to be repaired. I don't believe that the town actually goes down and cleans the beaches. But if you wanted to do that, there are machines that actually do that. You put that into your budget as well. But I haven't done any of that analysis. That's just the overview.
Wow, that's what I'm saying.
Right, and we
well,
could
there's a
always-
big gate there in the way.
I know, we put it there.
So my feeling is we shouldn't lose the option out, and we can discuss about the other issues. But, you know, I think we should not lose that optionality for a year. Now you can decide whether you want it, maybe even a public hearing about it, I don't know, but those decisions can be made during the year. Or we can decide not to do it, but at least give us the option
But if you formally make the declaration that you're going to give back, it doesn't have to go through, say.
You could, yeah, we have to give the notice to the town to start the process. If within the next 60 or 90 days, like, if we say we're 120 days, and we say to the town, we withdraw that and we don't want to proceed, they're fine. That's why it gives them a year notice. And by the way, that year notice provision is really for police services. I mean, that's a real major, it's for all, it covers everything, but the real intent is that's a major change. We're gonna do that, so.
And the reason why the lead time is so great is because the town starts their budget process in August. And if they're not going to rely on, like, in particular, the money for the police department, that's a big chunk of money that gets assessed to your property that the town would have to find elsewhere. And so that's a bigger chunk than Parks and Recreation. They already issued the building, the parking permits anyway, so they're probably not gonna lose that revenue because.
I don't think they're gonna lose,
buy
everybody else is still gonna get us out.
Aren't we gonna be paying for that?
You probably told me.
Yeah, we're.
Yes, no,
Right.
I
So,
mean, there's
it's
two
one
different
side
things
and
there.
the
I'm just
other.
talking about the beach, what I'm saying, the reason why they want such a lead time is because they have to work it into their budget or work it out of their budget.
I think it's de minimis for the town. I mean, de minimis, because everybody's gonna get a bonus out and sticker for you stagnate.
And then, so the only piece that we're gonna be missing is the garbage pickup on Parks and Recreation and the maintenance of signs and the doorways.
Who's gonna do it?
We already do the roadway. Oh, we do the capital improvement, so the town doesn't do that, and we do the gate, so.
So we'll have to hire somebody to do the garbage.
So we would have to hire somebody to do garbage, and the biggest cost would be the garbage pickup and then the purchase of the parking stickers. Because the police already police that area anyways, that's not gonna be any
What's the
additional.
garbage pickup cost roughly? Do you have any idea?
We'd have to look at
I
all that.
haven't figured that out.
One of the things is, nothing changes really unless we change our vehicle and traffic law about who permits. So actually, until we do that, the only thing we've done is given us the option,
Yeah.
the option to do it. And the vehicle and traffic law, we can change at any time.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Anyway, I'll make a motion to notify the town if you wanna
I'll second that.
bring that back. All in favor? Aye.
Opposed?
Oh, special events or assembly permits.
Yes, okay, there's a Cohen wedding going to be on August 10th, a Saturday. It's, a wedding on 679 Daniels Lane from 3 PM to 12 AM. And it's on 3 acres, residentials, 1 house, they're gonna have 2 tents, people expected are 150, 25 working the event, so a total of 175 people. It's a family wedding with ceremony and band. The number of vehicles are expected are 20 plus. There will be a valet company, people full valet. And they will have on-site security, CM security. And the catering company's Art of Eating. They will have special pickup for refuse. They don't say who. They will have portable bathrooms of one 18-inch trailer accommodating 125 to 175 guests, 6 stations, 3 women's stalls and 2 men's. Outback portable toilets is the company. Now the sound type, I don't know what it is. It's all handled by the band, nothing additional, whatever that means. Music type, 1 band for inside the tent, 2 musicians for cocktail hour. Lighting, we have lighting for the main tent as well as lighting for the restroom. Tents, there'll be 2, 1 main tent, 40 by 100. A catering tent, 30 by 30, and then there's 1 tent backup for the ceremony, 50 by 100. So that's 3 tents, but 1 is the backup. And 2 generators, 1 with the tent and 1 with the restroom. Parking will be on Daniels.
Yeah, you see it.
by big fields.
Yeah.
And staff parking, I don't know what this area are there homes there? It may.
We required them to put it in front of fields so that they.
Yeah, I don't
With the
know
fields
why,
are
know
built.
why they go
So
all the
I'm
way
not-
over here.
It may have been error
They
on
go?
this map. But this is where the residence is,
Yeah,
so.
so it's closer to town line than. That's. So as long as they're gonna be parking right here and here. Did you get that? See the
Yeah.
picture of where the house is, and then this field here, they should be parking there.
Which is on the south side, just west of the property.
And then they will be also parking on the north side, west of that property. Which looks okay to me. Does anyone have any questions? I propose we give them the permit for, the wedding on August 10th. Anybody second?
Yeah.
All in favor?
Hi.
Okay. And then there's a summer party on August 8th, 38 Old Barn Lane in Sagaponic. It's just a social event, a cocktail party from 6 to 8. Did I tell the times for the other one?
Yeah.
It's not commercial, it is, 100 to 150 people. 25 working events, so it's about 175 on 1.4 acres. It's a private home.
Is this a charity event?
No, it's a private summer
Yeah.
cocktail party. Right? And there will be a valet company, APC Hospitality LLC. They will have on-site security, Pinkerton security. They are having portable bathrooms, but they don't give us any information on that. The sound, handheld microphone for a short speech. The music, recorded playlist for ambient music, lighting, string mics, tent, 2 tents, 140 by 80 for the party tent and 1 cook tent, which is probably what, 30 by 30. And then generators, one to be determined to service the 18-foot restroom trailer. Which I don't know how close to homes this is. Generators can be loud.
Some old ones.
Old barn, so yeah, there's a lot of people around, right? So depending on the generator, do we usually have situation where they need to be not portables, no? Okay. And then the parking will be on Erica's Lane? No.
No, it's on Hedges.
On Old Barn Lane, on Old Barn. What's that song?
I got a red line here off Hedges.
Yeah.
So what we did on this one is this particular property is located, the second one in.
Yeah.
On the west side of
Mhm.
Old Barn, so we're allowing them to park.
On the,
Just, not
East
too
side?
close to the corner, but on the west side in front of the property,
on the west side of the road?
correct, west
Okay.
side. And so we'll allow them to start there, and then their overflow is gonna be on Hedges Lane in front of the field. With that red line there, it's a little west of that property.
This is the one.
David, do you want to charge parking?
Yeah, they can come to my house and I'll charge a small fee.
Any questions?
No, I mean, this is a short term, isn't it? What time is it from?
6 to 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this, Diane Solomon sent an email that she wants a speed bump on Old Barn. Just,
Good for her.
yeah,
On a cul-de-sac.
no, hey,
Okay, so I propose we give the assembly permit for the summer party on August 8th.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Right.
And then the other item is Gibson John.
This is the law firm.
Yeah, okay, it is an event on 194 Erica's Lane, does that say?
Yep.
On August 1st, which is, what was that, Saturday? Rain date, July 31st.
August 1st is a Thursday. Thursday.
From 5:30 to 8:30. The rain date was July 31st, so that's a Wednesday. And it's under a tent in the backyard, one tent. 70 people, 3 people working it. 75 people. No activities, no catered food, but it says dinner. And it says 1 bus.
Right, all of these people are being bussed in. It's a corporate event. So they're all
Okay.
being bussed in. There's no cars.
No valet.
Be picked up in a bus.
Parking in front of house, 10 cars, the rest
is
is to Uber. Seafood shops catering it, no portable bathrooms. No sound, no music, no lighting, 1 tent, 30 by 45, a full tent. And I guess that's it for that. Any questions?
No.
I recommend we give permit to these people or any. Open event on purpose on this.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Actually, there's a 4th one, a fundraiser. This is new to me. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one just came in literally at the 11th hour yesterday afternoon at 3 o'clock.
Okay, on 15 Jacobs Way on August 11th, Sunday. It's a fundraiser for Congressman Richie Torres. Starting at noon until 2. And let's see. It's on 1.3 acres residential. It's a family home, 50 to 75 people, 10 or less to work it, so less than 100 people. And that's fundraising, reception, beverages, light lunch, and a brief Q&A. Number of vehicles expected, 25 to 35. The valet company is North Fork Valet. The security company is T&M USA LLC. Hampton's Aristocrat is the catering company. And it says, we will collect and dispose the refuse. No portable bathrooms. None of the above. And do these people need?
Is this 15 Jacobs Way?
Correct.
The house is not even done.
They will have their CO by this event.
Okay.
You cannot get an assembly permit unless you have a CO on the house.
Okay.
They're literally finishing it right now.
Good point to point out, though, we have had that situation where we
Yes,
have
we have.
houses, so David, it's a good point.
This we have unseasonal rental too.
So Jacob's Way, this is the house?
This is-
Oh, this is now.
So the parking is gonna be. on
Right in front of
hedges.
it.
On hedges, correct. The lot is located on the corner of Jacobs and Hedges. So,
So it's on the north side of Hedges.
correct.
Northeast corner,
Any questions?
right across my driveway.
Yours, David?
Again, I should charge
We
parking.
got a lot of activity in Navy there, my friend.
Parking there.
August is gonna be busy.
So what do you think, guys? Shall we?
I'm fine with it,
All
yeah.
right, I
Richie Toro.
recommend we give the
Wait,
permit
is that a Republican or Democrat?
for this fundraiser on August 11th.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Good job.
Very good.
Thank you, Rudy.
We're gonna pay bills?
You want to do your discussion item first there, Bill, or?
I don't know. I don't think everybody's had it. When Bill shows up, he's gonna have his list.
Okay, so I'll just put this off to next month. What is that? What is the discussion?
The discussion?
Oh.
Unless you wanna do it now, I mean, people want to arm wrestle right now, or, no? Okay.
Wait, is discussion list, what was that? What we prepared?
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah, I didn't see anybody else's.
yeah, okay, no,
So we can.
Bill's isn't in,
I will
yeah,
say,
right. We're not through the agenda yet, but is there someone else who wants to speak to us? Anybody else? Come on up.
There?
Yeah,
Sure.
Right
Looks
up,
like you
up and
pulled
front
something.
and center.
Hello, everybody. My name is Ella Ingles Snow, resident of Sagaponic. We're up down the road, I know some of you. And I am just here to express my deep concern and I feel troubled at the way the decision was made, the lack of process regarding the cell phone tower. I think that this is a pretty small village. And when you focus on the people who actually live here, it's even smaller. And I don't understand how this decision could have been made so quickly with such little time for discussion and so many of the residents not knowing about it. And I understand that there is a alternative location that has been proposed. The White Limited Partnership parcel west up of Jeff White's farm field and 900 feet off Markup Highway. So I am strongly advocating for the village to consider breaking the contract and moving the cell phone tower to this location. I think that if there's any question of the potential for the risk of the safety of any of our residents, that we absolutely have to take that most seriously. And I don't see any reason why we wouldn't do it in this other location that is not on top of one of our residents' homes. So I hope that we will really, really consider this, that there are a number of residents that are deeply concerned and hoping that for this very possible change.
Right, okay. Thanks, no, I wish this had been presented to us a long time ago, that's all.
A lot of people didn't know that this was happening because it happened so fast. So I think one of my major concerns is particularly living in a small village, that there is a responsibility of the village to let the residents know when it's something that's such a big deal. And I
Brody sent
understand
out
that there was
600
something that was-
emails to everyone. I don't know. That's telling everybody what's.
But it happened like there wasn't a meeting and then some time passed and then another opportunity.
I appreciate your comments, certainly, we certainly hear them. I might just say, though, to be accurate, there was a period of time, it took almost over a quarter. I would say there were probably 4 months or 5 months of time period where this was debated and brought up. So there was a very significant debating period and meeting period. And how many emails did you send out to all the resident lists?
Just under 70.
So the village, certainly, I say, all those comments you made are very fair, but I just want to make sure that I don't want to leave you with the impression that this was something that happened in a back room in a half an hour over a night. It took almost half a year of meetings to get to that point. And then there was public participation and comment and those kind of things.
We started in November.
I appreciate your comments and I'm not here to debate you. I'm just kind of letting you know how I feel as a resident and regardless, it seems that there is a potential risk of safety of several of our residents. And so that's my concern, whatever happened, there is an opportunity to do something different that wouldn't put them at risk.
Right.
So
Okay.
that is how I feel.
Oh, but thank you. Yep.
Thank you for your time.
Hello. Anyone else?
Megan, do you want to speak to something?
I'm here to say
Okay,
Oh, okay.
good.
We ready to pay bills? Okay. Make a motion to expend. Right, we're ready for this? Okay. Who's over there?
General fund.
From the general fund, in the amount of $62,516.98. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Make a motion to expend from the trust and agency planning accounts in the amount of $6,457.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And I make a motion to expend from the trust and agency account $5,000.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Our next meeting is August 21st. So,
That's correct.
yes.
Are we done for August?
We're gonna go to a political fundraiser.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, we're done?
More little item.
Oh, okay, sure.
I just want to make sure that with what Ella had now just represented. I was here in December when Mr. Versace actually stood here, and spoke like, oh, that was December. January, there's nothing you said. February was approved. So when she suggested this came about rapidly, I think the board has to acknowledge that. I just wanted to be very clear that this consideration that we've now handed you today is extremely important. And I would hope the village exactly.
Thank you.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
I would like to have an executive. Meeting. Say that, ask for that. We need to discuss something. Okay, so.
Yeah, you just have to give what the topic is, and there are like 5 appropriate executive session.
Well, the cell tower.
So,
So first of all, you just closed the meeting.
Yeah.
So now you have to do,
Yeah.
you have to open the public meeting back up, so I need a motion to open the meeting back up.
I motion to open the public meeting.
Second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Right now,
motion to go to executive session for purposes of contract negotiation and or litigation.
so motion, somebody.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you, folks.